What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Got some breaking news directly from Liz Wheeler regarding the release of phase 1 of the Epstein files. So in an update here, Pam Bondi herself was surprised not to find anything horrific or a bombshell in what was initially handed over to her. It wasn't what I expected. This is what Pam Bondi said. Pam Bondi also said something isn't right with the documents, but she still wanted to fulfill President Donald Trump's order. So she released it, what she had of those in those binders and what you saw today. Last night, after Pam Bondi and Kash Patel prepared these binders, they received a tip from an intel source from within the FBI. The source told Pam Bondi that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of documents with SDNY hid from her and did not hand over. Pam Bondi gave a deadline by tomorrow morning to hand them over. And here is what Liz Wheeler had to say about all this as well. Let's jump into this.
The Epstein files binder. Hey, I'm in the airport, but I wanted to jump on here because this stuff is blowing up as it should be, and I wanted to open the Epstein files binder and show you what's in it, because this whole exercise is about transparency, and I wanted to address some of your concerns, but I want to start with what happened this morning. So this morning I was at the White House meeting with President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance and Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel, and they presented us with, let me show you. They presented us with a couple of things that I want to show you, and you'll have to forgive the background. We are right now in the airport, and they presented us with this binder. Now, this is the binder that I posted a picture of. You saw that. Millions of people saw that. It says on the front, the Epstein Files Phase 1 by order of Attorney General Pamela Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel, the most transparent administration in history, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Now, what's interesting is we're all waiting for bombshells, we're all waiting for juicy stuff, and that's not what's in this binder. That's not what's in this binder at all. And that's exactly how the Attorney General presented it to us. She handed us this binder and she said, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, has given me an order to declassify the Epstein files, and I have been quickly working on doing just that because we want to be the most transparent administration in history. We know that as of a week ago, she went on, I believe it was Fox News, and said that she had the Epstein files on her desk. And when I think it was Jesse Waters asked her, well, is there anything, have you found anything juicy yet? She said, not yet. So her message to me when she handed me this binder was, we expected to release bombshells. We expected to find the dark stuff, the dirty stuff, the names of the people that were involved in what Epstein was doing. And when these files were put on my desk and she was relating how she looked through them. She was relating how she looked through them. She said, it wasn't what I was expecting. And I said, is this it? Is this it? And she said, something is not right here. Now, just because she had that feeling, she still wanted to not only fulfill the president's order to release these, she wanted to do it in a timely manner. And so they prepared this binder. They were going to release what's in this binder, and I'll show you what's in it. It's also going to be available online here shortly, so that all of us can go through it. And we're going to talk about, too, how this has bypassed the legacy media and how this is the Trump administration is harnessing new media to release this sort of exclusive, which is a good thing. But late last night, after Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel prepared this binder, the Epstein files, a source called Attorney General Pam Bondi, a source from within the FBI, from within the Southern District of New York. And this source told Pam Bondi that even though she had been told that this was the extent of the Epstein files, it's not the extent of the Epstein files, that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of other documents and files and pieces of evidence that the SDNY, the most corrupt district in the United States, was hiding. They were hiding from President Trump. They were hiding from Vice President Vance. They were hiding from Attorney General Pam Bondi. They were hiding from FBI Director Kash Patel. They were hiding from you. And so you should, is it? Okay, I apologize that it's buffering so badly. Guys, I know that's really frustrating. We are sitting in an airport terminal. Hey, I'm
Let me see if I can find the rest of this footage here. Here we go. Found it, guys.
that it's buffering so badly. Guys, I know that's really frustrating. We are sitting in an airport terminal here because I didn't want you to think that I was trying to hide something. The story here is quite remarkable. The story here is this letter from Attorney General Pam Bondi, and I want to read a little bit of it to you. It says, "Dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and lists of victims' names and their phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source." Is it too bad, Tim? Or is it okay? Oh, okay. Okay. Late yesterday, Attorney General Bondi writes, "I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I," she's talking to Director Patel, "spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how much information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. I'm also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country. Sincerely," it's signed Pamela Bondi, Attorney General. This is the story. This is the story right here. That the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI, when they were given what they had ordered the full Epstein files to be delivered to them. When they were given what they ordered, they smelled a rat. They knew that it was not the full and complete files, and yet they were committed to transparency, giving you these files, which is why they compiled this binder. And the real story is that there are deep state agents in the FBI, especially in the Southern District of New York, who are, as we speak, working to subvert the Trump administration, working to subvert you, trying to cover up what Jeffrey Epstein did and who he was associated with, which is beyond despicable. So don't allow the legacy media, who right now are chagrined because they were not given an exclusive, don't let the legacy media convince you that there's not a story here. The story here is incredibly important, that not only is the Trump administration trying to give you transparency, but that the deep state agents are trying to hide it. Okay, so the only stunt here was what the SDNY pulled. So let's look in these files. I'm gonna actually turn the camera so you can look in it yourself. I'm gonna show you what's in here. Okay, so this is the Epstein files, phase 1. There's a couple of A, B, C, D. A, I believe, is just the executive summary. Or no, these are the flight logs. B is stuff that's already been released. Again, when you're looking at this and thinking, well, why do we care about things that have already been released? This is the stunt the SDNY was trying to pull on you. They were trying to convince you that you cared about this, that this was it, that there was no evidence that would convince you that Jeffrey Epstein was guilty. But if you go to tab C here, this is a Rolodex. It's not the client book, and I want to be very clear here. This is not the black book. This is not those who Jeffrey Epstein served. This is just his Rolodex. It's just like going to your contacts tab and seeing whose phone number you have in your phone. So this is what Jeffrey Epstein had in his phone. And you'll recognize some names as we go through this list. Again, you'll be able to access all of this online. They were scanning these documents in, digitizing them, and they're going to be posting them. The White House is online, so you'll all be able to look at it. There's no drip of information happening here. This was just the new media You are the media. That's what Elon Musk says. Well, you are the media, not the mainstream media. So giving the information to the media, to the new media. Alec Baldwin's name, you can see right here. Again, this is not, I don't want to portray this as a client list. This is a Rolodex. This is just his contacts list. But you can see who's on this list. There were a couple of other ones when I was looking through this earlier that I saw that were interesting here. There's even a couple of them that are circled. The redacted portions are just the street addresses and the phone numbers of the people. So Jean-Jacques Brunel, yeah, there's Mick Jagger is in here. Senator Edward Kennedy is in here. Jean-Jacques Brunel, this guy was someone who worked with Epstein, and he was found dead in a foreign prison. He was like a French model scout. He was found dead in a foreign prison. Naomi Campbell's name is right here. Courtney Love's name you'll find in here a little bit. Tons of Maxwell's. Rupert Murdoch's name is in here. Ethel Kennedy's name is in here. Ivana Trump's name is in here. Michael Jackson's name is in here. Now, many of these, as you know, are already publicly known. This is not the breaking news that you would expect. And again, it's totally fine to feel frustrated by that. But right, it's fine to feel frustrated. You should feel frustrated. But the target of your frustration should be the SDNY, who tried to gaslight you into thinking that this was it. This was the extent of the evidence against Epstein. That's not the case. So let me turn this. So there's also flight logs in here. And I do think that there is one interesting thing in the flight log. Again, it's not a juicy bombshell, but the name of the pilot that flew the plane on all of these flights, it was the same guy, the same pilot. So he saw everything. He might be an interesting place for this investigation to start. I know he has been. Okay, so this is the redacted stuff. I was told by the Attorney General that the redacted information is the names and addresses of the victims who, of course, were sexually abused. You can see this. And this just goes back to the Rolodex. So that's it. So when you I mean, there's a couple people I want to address online here. Let me turn the phone back around. And if there's anything else anybody wants to see, first of all, it'll be up online, and if it's not already, it'll be up online momentarily. But I can show you if you want. But a couple of the people who are claiming that this was some kind of stunt, it was a stunt. It was a stunt by the SDNY to try to pull the wool over your eyes and make you think that this was all it was. This was a good faith effort by the Trump administration to release the Epstein files, which they promised to declassify, and they did. This is what Attorney General Bondi and Kash Patel were told was the extent of the Epstein files, until a source, a whistleblower from the SDNY, came to them and said, actually, no, they're hiding more information. And of course, the question is why? Why are they hiding more information? Well, part of it is to protect politicians or powerful figures who are going to be implicated in what is yet to come. And by the way, the rest of those files, we're talking lists of evidentiary items. We're talking about recordings, audio and video. We're talking about actual names. I was told on good authority that actual names are in those documents. And as soon as those documents get to Pam Bondi's desk, they will be in your hands. The actual stunt was the SDNY thinking that they could get away with this. And the reason is not just to cover for their powerful politician friends. The reason is because the FBI and other intelligence agencies in our country have also run honeypot operations the way that Jeffrey Epstein did. And they don't want that to be exposed. They don't want to stop doing that. They don't want their corruption. They don't want any accountability for their corruption. And so that's essentially what we have here. This is a big moment in our country. It's a big moment in the Trump administration, because not only is he keeping a promise that he made, he's also telling the mainstream media, the legacy media, who has spent 10 years lying about him, 10 years covering for Joe Biden, 10 years trying to take him out. He's telling them that legacy media is dead. Legacy media is no more. Legacy media will not be relied on. They will not get special privileges. They will not be rewarded for their bad behavior. We have a new media apparatus now, you and I. We don't have to be credentialed by the White House Correspondent Association anymore to have access to those that we duly elected to represent us. That now we get to investigate these things ourselves. We get to release this information ourselves. You could be a stay-at-home mom, you can be a journalist, you can be whatever. You are part of this media effort. So, like I said, I know that there were some of you who, and Tim, we can respond if you want to bring some of those up, some of those tweets up. We can respond to some of these people individually, or maybe it's not even worth doing it. But those who are critical of how this was rolled out, I guess I don't quite understand why, because I understand your frustration and I share your frustration. You should have seen how pissed Attorney General Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel were in this meeting when they were explaining to us what happened. This binder is evidence that the deep state is still trying to get the Trump administration. And what you and I are doing today is exposing that. What you and I are doing today is exposing that. Again, you can go, and my producer, Tim, you can post that link to the Epstein Files website. They were planning to go live with it, which is also why we were waiting just a couple of hours, why we were waiting to talk about the content of this. Like I said, it is partially flight logs. It is partially information that we had already been released, and it is the part that's new in it is the contacts list from Epstein's phone. So you can call it a Rolodex if you want to be old-fashioned. You can call it a contacts list. You can call it whatever you want. It's not a client list. It's not the black book. It's not the juicy stuff. And that is the story. That is the scandal. And now everyone in this country and everyone around the world, from Democrats in Congress to liberals online to compromised, wealthy individuals to foreign nationals who, maybe in Britain, who were implicated in this, they are on notice. They are on notice that we're not going to allow the deep state to take out the Trump administration. So, Tim, can you tell me some of these tweets and some of these
Pam Bondi herself was surprised not to find anything horrific or a bombshell of that nature with the particular documents that were handed over. Pam Bondi said something is not right with these documents, but she still wanted to fulfill President Donald Trump's orders. So she released what she had, and that what was in the binders today. Late last night, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel prepared these binders. They received a tip from internal sources from the FBI. The source told Pam Bondi and Kash Patel that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of documents from the Southern District of New York hid from her, and they did not hand them over. So that is the actual story here. The Southern District of New York hid the documents. They're still hiding the documents, and they did not hand them over. Pam Bondi gave a deadline by tomorrow morning to hand them over. Let me know what you guys think about this. I thought Liz Wheeler did a fantastic job reporting from the airport. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button, share, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.